Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from around the world, everybody. We're doing another chill session today. I have a whole thing I'm doing with this Viltrox lens. I'm really excited to do a full demo on it. I'll actually show you guys some footage today for sure. But realistically, I think that we're going to be I'm just going to look over footage, do some stuff in Resolve today. I have this whole thing behind me set up so that we can show you guys like a side-by-side comparison between a couple 60mm lenses, but I just wanted to get live more quickly today and kind of figure out where to go from there. So we're gonna do the thing we do every day, which is verify that we are in fact live, because I had a few false starts in the past. And I don't want to end up sitting here chatting without verification that we're in fact live. Okay, cool. We're live. It's working. The system works. Everything's good. Okay. So, doing a quick update to our lovely Discord channel. Let everybody know that we are live and open for chatting and AMA and hanging out today. Give you all a couple hours of my time, and then I gotta go get back to doing stuff. There are so many cool things that are happening, you guys. And I'm gonna grab a soda before I tell you all about it. So let me go grab that right quick. Live and chatting today. Big demo planned for today. All right. And of course, when I say, I say big demo, I mean like, we'll see. But yeah, the 16mm Viltrox is crazy. I'm just gonna put that out there now. I'll even put it in the description of the chat. This is actually genuinely worth noting. I'm just gonna make sure everybody's aware of what's going on with this thing. It is so cool, and let's see here. Let me get my Resolve window up and running, so you guys can enjoy that. Enjoy the cat cam for a minute. Yeah, there you go. Cat cam face for everybody. And let's see here. Okay, while that's running, let's go ahead and add a little Clifton in the corner of Resolve for you guys. And a soda pop. You can hear the soda go. Bum, 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 bum. That's the sound of me actively working towards. There we go. We'll go bottom corner Clifton. That seems cool. Bam, here we are. Oh, it didn't work right. Resolve did not scale appropriately to the output. What is up with that? Why? We're just gonna fix this. What on earth? So this OBS business does not always work the way it's supposed to work. We're just gonna rebuild that from scratch. See how that goes. So you guys can see this. This is amazing Pretty Girl test footage, and there's more than just what you saw last time. So I want you guys to be able to see it and enjoy it. We're gonna sit and enjoy a comfortable silence while I troubleshoot. The killer of live streams, troubleshooting. Everybody's favorite. Maybe I can do this move. Hold on. Hold for really cool maneuvers. Let's go. I just want everybody to know as well. There's been this the 16 millimeter lens range on a full frame is so insanely wide. There's always been the 14 millimeter, from like the Canon L mount. Wow, not L mount, Canon L series. Whoa, they were L series, weren't they? The Canon L lenses were with the red ring, and now it's all L mount that we're caring about. That's wild. So the Canon 16 millimeter L lens was like the de facto architectural lens, or the 14 millimeter rather, 14 millimeter 2.8, and that was a great aspherical lens. I feel like 14 is a little hardcore wide on full frames, and I think that the 16 millimeter on a full frame is such a nice look in general, and I think that the oh my gosh, it's so hard to like actively talk while also changing settings in real time. I'm still in the this is like the chillest, least official stream, by the way. Right now we're fully vibing. We're just here to hang out. Hurdy on Keith's Hurdy. Yeah, on Keith, how's it going, man? So I'm just getting some pretty real footage up for everybody to see and enjoy, and then see if this fade works. There we go, full screen. Finally, the resolve is functioning now. Man, I had a crazy time there for a minute. All right, I'm gonna shrink me down a little more, in the corner, and then we're going to do some scrubbing here. So I'm actually putting this footage together for my official demo and review on this thing. I plan on making a little quick update video sort of describing the optical quality of this lens, and then having the end of that video kind of drop people into the live stream while it's live. So that is the plan for Friday morning. A little inside baseball here for you guys. Basically, I intend to get this so ambitious. There's a million things going on. I have a whole project. I need to submit a prototype design for a new camera accessory. I need to edit a quick update video and drop it, and fully finish prepping the live stream demo to show you guys real-time stuff about this lens. Meanwhile, there is a Viltrox sale going on, and for people who are interested in this lens, I don't want you guys to miss the discount. So like, I on the last stream when I was talking about this lens and how sharp it is, I was kind of like, hey, just so you guys know, there's some caveats to know about this lens. And then you guys saw some of these shots, and it was like there was so much interest in the lens, and like a lot of people were like, yo, what is that lens? I need to know. So I'm trying not to do the the over hype influencer thing, being like, this is the thing, everybody go buy it. But if everybody is interested in it, I don't want to make you guys miss like a discount, and then have it be later on be like, oh no, Clifton, why didn't you tell us? So I want to get that link for y'all, and then we're going to continue chatting about all this cool stuff. So real quick, just so that it's in the thing, here's the thing for the lurkers who are interested. You know what? I'm just gonna put it in the description of the stream. I guess it's like it's a better move. Hip. Good lord, I gotta go back to me for a second here. Let's go to the sleeping cat again for a minute. Also, on Keith, how's your day going? I know I can just ask you stuff because you tend to be you're super active in the chat. You're like, what's up, man? How your project's coming along? There we go. One deliver low E. Oh. Is that like low what is that, low energy? Also, cat comes out of focus, but that's okay. We'll go back to big VLC. Oh, low res draft. I see. Yeah. Oh, good. The low res draft delivery always. It's nice to not have to send over in HD. Sometimes you get that agreement to deliver things, and then they're like, I thought we agreed to 4K. You're like, we get every draft in 4K, man. Literally, oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's wow. Making the exact joke. Ankit says, 1, deliver low res draft. 2, get told the draft is low res because apparently that's the final output to them. 3, profit. Exactly. That's so good. Oh, I should have a poll going on this very stream. I'm gonna do that too. Okay, stream settings, add to this thing. Can I change the description while we're here? I think I can. I think we can, you guys. Bam. Nice. I was able to save and adjust the thing while we're hanging out. So, but yeah, okay. So we're gonna talk about this lens, and also just kind of generally hang out. But yeah, there's so much going on right now. That thing is happening where I become more active on YouTube, and then the universe of energy becomes like intense, and lots of options of like work pop up. So I end up getting pulled away a lot. But this time I have decided, of all the years I've done this, where I become really active on YouTube, people are engaging in the comments, and we get people starting to like build up around the channel and like talk to each other, which is great. And then like historically I get busy and I just disappear. And I'm not doing that this time, because I'm going to be making sure that this is prioritized along with whatever client stuff is going on. So as that gets busy, I may have more of these just kind of chill, casual, hangout, chatting days, and fewer like big, crazy demos. So maybe come August there'll be fewer of these kind of like chill chat days. But yeah, right now we're going to be doing a few of these. I will be doing the lens demo properly, but other than that, that's kind of the July plan. Ankit says, the worst part, they outlined the shots they wanted, we delivered, and then they go, oh, we just realized these aren't the shots you can put. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's like the client, being like, I don't know what I want, but I know what I don't like. Can you just show me every single possible iteration and option, and then I'll like pick from it like a shopping cart? So yeah, I feel that. Yep. I definitely feel that. I feel like I should do I feel like I should have a little community share clients from hell stories. Ooh, that would be a fun poll to put in the Discord. Like, would you guys like me to anonymously read your clients from hell stories? Let's add a poll for the day. Best uses for wide angle lenses. Oh yeah, what is? We're typing. You guys are hearing me type in real time. Here we go. Got it. I want to know, what's everybody say? Boom. Start poll for the day. I think the poll just runs the whole time the live is going on, which is super cool. But yeah, I think those are a good 4 to ask. High and wide establishing shots, close and wide portrait shots, architectural versus nature. I think those are the questions I think that are relevant to using a crazy lens like this. This is a nice frame. Actually, I should grab this frame. What am I doing? Keith says, honestly, a client from Healthbed would absolutely slap more people who can relate to each other. Absolutely. You know what? Let's do it. Let's just do it now. I'm going to also remove the screen separators, wondering what they are. Turns out they're text lights. Oh my gosh, they call that screen separators. I never know what clients are going to like randomly describe something as. It's so funny. I'm gonna add that to the Discord now. Let's go ahead and do that's a oh, is that a sharing, caring, or chit chat? I feel like that's a chit chat. I feel like they kind of is like open, just yeah. Clients from hell. Create channel. Yay. A place to share your wildest and most frustrating client and project stories. Saved. Done. That's a good idea. For anyone, I like started the stream being like, I'm gonna do a whole demo thing, and then like pretty quick I was like, you know what? What about clients from hell stuff? For anyone who's lurking, boom, invite to the Discord if you want to pop in. You can share your clients from hell stories. It'd be really funny if you did. And then, I mean, obviously, maybe not funny if the clients from hell story is like a truly frustrating thing, and there was like legal battles and stuff. And maybe funny's not the right word, but let's. Ooh, nice. Let's see. Let's make lots of room. Pretty grotesque footage. Let's make lots of room for this image to be really big, shall we? There we go. That's nice. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, pretty grotesque footage. So I'm gonna get rid of all these. I'm gonna move this down because we're not using audio today on this. Bring this. There we go. Cool. Easy to edit timeline. Great big giant clip for sharing pretty grotesque footage. So here's a fun thing. I'm gonna show you guys something cool. So I've mentioned my special LUT earlier, right? So here's we're gonna like A/B this thing. So here's the camera at here's this exact shot at native ISO. I want to show this off. I'm gonna show a bunch of things here. We're doing pretty grotesque footage because the lens is amazing, but I'm also gonna do this ETTR thing because I keep getting told, and I think inaccurately, that like that ETTR is bad or doesn't work or whatever. And I'm just like, it's crazy. So here's what ETTR looks like log and in camera, and it is washy, as you can see. So when I'm going to use the first clip is going to be at native, and I'm going to apply the Blackmagic. Where is it at here? The Blackmagic Rec 09 LUT, which is here we go. We're going to do Gen 5 to extended video. Boom. There it is. This looks crazy bright. And people are always like, oh no, you can't do that. And of course you don't do this on set. You don't want to just do this super bright shot on set, even though technically speaking, there's data here that you can recover, but this would look really bad on a monitor. And then here's my, oops, sorry. So if we do the same thing where we've got the Blackmagic extended video LUT, and then we drop our ISO down to minimum, it's looking better already. Normally, I wouldn't combine these things, but in this particular instance, it actually ends up working. So if we drop our ISO to 100 and use the Clifton ETTR LUT, bam. Now it's already looking so much richer and cleaner. So this is the difference and where the information is nice and clean that you can still recover out of an image like this. And of course, Blackmagic has things like the highlight recovery tool, which brings a bunch of information back into your highlights. And then we can do a really basic grade from there. Just add a little high soft curve, bring up our highlights. We have so much room now in the shadows to bring more information up if we want to, and give a little richness in the midtones. But like that already is really, really pretty. I'm even warm it up just a little bit. Oh, what was that? Did I even notice anything there? Oh, there we go. Yeah. So, is it the light on the front of our face is a little bit cooled off? So I'll go 250. And then maybe if we want to be even cooler, we'll just knock a little bit of the. I want to take out shadows here. A little bit more red of the shadows. Add a little more warmth in the highlights. Nope, wrong thing. Yeah, a little bit of chroma contrast. But yeah, there you go. So log ETTR LUTs added. Oh, I probably go here so you guys can see it full screen. Log. Oh, there we go. Log footage, ETTR LUTs added. Log footage, ETTR LUTs added. Super cool. Everyone loves it. We love the before and after. Log footage, Rec 709. So yeah. Expose the right, pull down your ISO, all sorts of good stuff. Lofty Coast, what is up, dog, with you? How's your morning going? Hopefully it's going very well. It's been so long since I've seen you. What is up, dog? What is up, dog? I am dog. We're doing a chill morning, afternoon, evening, etc. I have a whole proper demo set up for later on this thing. I really like this look though. Can I grab this? I'm gonna grab this still, make another still album, grab this still, and we're gonna start applying this on the shots. Bam. Look at that. Look at that. Pretty good old test footage. Ah. Looking so nice. But yeah, the Viltrox 16mm f2.8L lens is crazy. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, I like that moment. Look at that. So nice. Going exceedingly well, as you would say. That's great. I do love saying exceeding. It is going exceedingly well. I totally agree with that. If I turn off, there we go. I can totally turn off clips, and I can make this wider so you can see this beautiful frame a little better. There we go. See, now we're getting somewhere. Unkeat says, Updog is a phenomenon of dog having wings as a result of drinking too much Red Bull. That's true. That is how that happens. I watched a documentary on that. I think Werner Herzog directed that documentary. We all know that. Speaking of shitposting, you guys, I was really proud of a moment the other day on Reddit, a website you might have heard of. People have started doing this /s thing constantly because they're all afraid that it won't be clear that they're being sarcastic. And oh yeah, I went to Chinatown, by the way. We're going to show you some really cool like nighttime Chinatown shots. But yeah, so like someone oh, thank you, Ankit. I appreciate that. Holy moly, these shots look amazing. This lens is freaking me out. It is like so good and so sharp. I'm like insanely blown away by a lens that's like under $600. And today / right now, it is on sale for another 20% off. And I'm not normally the guy who's like, oh my gosh, you guys, this thing's on sale. But literally, this thing is on sale. It's like under $500 right now. So anyone who's like really looking for an L mount super wide angle lens, this is a good time to do it, for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys here. I mean, I pardon some of these being kind of rough because I haven't like properly trimmed these down yet, but I applied this grade. Yeah, cool. And then here we're gonna stick to Retro 50. Maybe don't need I already did the ETTR thing here. Let's apply the Blackmagic LUT. Bam. I'm just gonna first grade this. This is so fun. What a fun shot. So this is an instance I'll just do the work. Bring up our highlights, give it a lot of high soft, bring down our midtones. We're shooting at 1250 at night, not 3200 because we want the night to be dark. There's no reason to try to make like the sky a blue sky. It's nighttime, y'all. We can let the night look like night. That's an okay thing to do. So we're gonna let our darks be dark. We're gonna bring our highlights up. We're gonna let our light sources clip a little bit because you don't need to see the roiling surface of the sun every time that you film outdoors and see the sun. Ooh, look at that pretty girl. I'm gonna bring down our highlights a little bit here, and we're gonna add. I love just like cranking down the midtones. I think it's such a nice tonal curve for these things. And then let's add. Oh, here's a fun trick. If you want to get really good white balance, crank your saturation to literally 100. And then on a previous node, start playing with your color temperature. And then you'll see very quickly where you've got too much of one color or another. And like you don't leave it here, obviously you know. Maybe do -20, add a little bit of green back in there. Then you bring your saturation down to like a reasonable level. So let's go back to maybe 65. We can do 75, a little extra colorful here in Chinatown because the colors in Chinatown are so nice. Look at that. Look at that skin tone. Totally believable. A true human being. And then let's bring some of the reds out of our shadows. I love a cool shadow at night. Aram V says, nice trick. Thank you so much. I don't know if you're here earlier for the little ETTR demo, but this is that thing earlier. So this is this shot just straight out of camera with the correctly exposed to the right at native ISO with the Blackmagic, just Rec 09 LUT on. And here is the image with the ISO pulled down to 100 with an extra ETTR LUT layer I put on, which looks really nice. So this is the thing I've been kind of on about. Everybody's being like, the Blackmagic sensors recover so incredibly well from like overexposure that if you expose to the right and then pull your image down, you can do a lot. And I have this whole this whole LUT pack thing I'm developing right now that lets you do this in camera without it looking like this first. It can look like this when you record it and people will be like, wow, it's gorgeous. So just throwing that out there. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going with coloring this stuff, and I also want to see how this this is a long shot and it's pretty wibbly wobbly, but let's see just how. Oh yeah, so the soft glow around the highlights. That's what I wanted to point out. So this shot, I have added diffusion to the lens. So this lens, as shown earlier, previously on, this lens does not flare. So here's even a shot of Brigitte. I haven't color corrected this shot yet, so pardon the. So it's a little blue, but like here's the sun poking through her arm and hair right at us, and the distortion isn't even that bad when you're super close to this lens, which is nice. But like this sunlight flare is not making this whole image insanely washed out and milky. So this lens is just not a flare machine. So if you add a little bit of diffusion, it actually takes to diffusion really, really well. So I definitely recommend putting a little diffusion on this lens for sure. For sure. The shots from honestly, I really like filming Brigitte. I guess in that way, that's kind of like, the romantic memory playing out in real time. I'm very inspired. She's my muse. I love taking Brigitte out to scenic locations. Such a filmic woman to take out to such filmic locations. Okay, so this isn't terrible. We're walking back the whole way. Let's see if I get like real shaky at the end here. I totally do. So she walks by. Oh, cute. Okay, let's cut it in there. And let's stabilize this whole thing and see how this shot fares. Because this lens does not have stabilization, but it is super wide. So it being really wide inherently reduces the issues that you might have with you know, handheld shake being super noticeable and stuff. So rather than having stabilization on the lens, we're gonna stabilize in post. And Blackmagic does have this great this great gyro data in their cameras when you are stabilizing. So, but it only works if you don't have stabilization on the lens anyway. So generally we just want to turn that off. So let's go ahead and give this a watch and see how we're doing with a one click stabilization on. So we're 16 millimeters. We're at f1.8. We're using the autofocus to track our lovely subject with the new phase detect autofocus on the Pixus 6K. And we do have diffusion added to the lens so that we have this nice bloom going on the lights around her. So this 16 millimeter lens, a little stabilization added, looks nice. I mean, this is a handheld shot, y'all. I feel pretty proud of this. This is not bad. And then as I see into this clip, I'm just gonna be doing this a bunch all day, just constantly adding invites and reminders of people. If you guys aren't in the Discord, you can join the Discord. We have all sorts of good stuff. I actually just added a clients from hell. There it is again. A fresh invite. A clients from hell chat tab. So if anybody wants to share their crazy client stories, I may even have a day where I read a bunch of them anonymously for everybody. And then, okay, here I am in my tiny backpack. Let me grab this LUT and I'm gonna apply it to tiny backpack Clifton, because Brigitte grabbed the lens at one point. Oops, reset the stabilization data, and she followed me around. So this is definitely walking through a really dark area. This is good. This is a good low light test. Let me grade this real quick for the low light fanatics out there, because people are always like, oh, it's terrible at low light. And my reply to that is always like, are you shooting at night somewhere? It should look like night. So if you have light sources, you should let the light sources be bright and let your nighttime look like nighttime. Let's do the same thing here. High soft through the roof. Or sorry, not even high soft. Yeah, high soft up, brights up. Looking good, looking not terribly noisy now. Let's go ahead and bring our shadows down like you do. And let's bring our mids down to a reasonable degree. No, let's go crazy. Make it 2 whole points of bringing the highlights up. And then we'll be a little more aggressive with our midtones. Maybe I'm being a little too crazy. Maybe I'll bring it down more. Maybe we'll say 1.8. And then let's do a saturation trick. Bam. And now let's adjust our color temperature. Definitely need to add some green into that. Yeah, it's not bad. Now we're gonna bring our saturation back down. And we're going to cool our shadows a little bit. And also maybe take some green out of there too. All right, let's take a peek at this really fun little shot. I think I have room maybe to even clean up node graph never works quite. It always does a random node in a super awkward place. I have room to bring the mids down even more. We'll go -15. Let's get aggressive. All right, and then let's just for giggles, let's see where this starts and stops. See if it's extra shaky at the beginning or extra shaky at the end. A little extra shaky at the end, but you know, for fun and profit, let's look at this shot. It's a little stabilizer on there and see how this looks. I'm discovering this in real time with you, so I have no idea if this is gonna be, if I'm gonna have like a really funny cringe moment or whatever. I know I did some silly things while walking, but you guys can judge for yourself. People who say that Pixus cannot do night shooting and the second native is too noisy, it's just not true. There I go, enjoying my little boba for everybody. Behold me flirting with the camera woman. Hunky says, no, you didn't get it. It has to look like summer at noon when it's midnight, don't you know? Yeah, seriously. And you know what? The first time I ever went out with a high ISO camera, did a long exposure under moonlight in a clearing, and then the clearing just looked like daylight because moonlight is the sun. It is still sunlight. It's just slightly more diffused. I was just like, oh man, there's really no point to just having the highest ISO in the world, because you still end up. Logico says king. Thank you. Let's apply this look to this shot too. Oh yeah, nice and bright. Now what goofy thing am I doing here? Actually, I think I have even more room to pull the mids down. Yoop. Oh yeah, that's nice. Look at that. That's nice. Oh yeah, there's the look. Blue steel, y'all. But yeah, this lens does such a good job with diffusion. These little light blooms look so nice, and I think that the adding a little diffusion to the 16mm looks so good. Again, I'm drinking a lot of liquid there. I'm gonna curate a little more. I think people are probably here for pretty girl test footage more than random giant guy in a tiny backpack footage. Oh, here's a good one. This is a nice long shot. Here's this nice long shot both with and without diffusion. Let me see if I can stack these in a way that you guys can enjoy the two different versions of the same shot at the same time. I think that'll be really cool. Ankit says, honestly, the handheld look is phenomenal. All it needs is the gyro at 0 strength to balance any rolling shutter out. That's true. Very Malikian. Thank you. Honestly, that's a huge compliment. I appreciate the Malikian. I actually, Ankit, you're one of like I think 3 people. You're one of 3 people in the world who will actually appreciate this this statement. Ever since I saw Primer, I've been obsessed with the director, and then ever since I saw Upstream Color, and I was like, I want to shoot things that feel like that. I refer to myself as a Caruthian filmmaker for a long time, and everybody's like, the heck is a Caruthian filmmaker? But there you are, using the exact same terminology, man. We're such similar vibe people. But yeah, the very Malikian, definitely more Malikian than Caruthian. Caruthian is much more like tight, super shallow depth of field stuff. Here we're definitely a lot more wide and close stuff, and filming it to feel more poetic and like a memory, for sure. So this is definitely on the, erring on the side of being Malikian for sure. Let's see here, 920 by 1080. So let's raise this up 540, and then let's crop the bottom. Maybe another 540. How's that sound? Not enough. Crop the bottom 1080. Also not enough. Whoa. Crop on 2160. What resolution am I working at here? Good lord. Oh, I'm working in 8K. What am I doing? Okay, let's try that again. So we're gonna move up. So I move up 540, and I crop 540. I think that's gonna give us more of what we're looking for. Cool. Maybe we crop 720, and I only move up 270. Wait, 360? Yeah, there we go. And let's slide this one down. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I really want to show you guys these 2 frames, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. What if? Oh, here's an idea. Hold on, I'm gonna master reset both of these. I think I can just. I'm just gonna scale them so you guys can just see. Let's just do that. 0.5 and 0.5. Let's just put these above and below each other and let you, the viewers at home, judge the diffused versus not diffused footage. Granted, these aren't, the exact same identical walkthroughs, but I think we did a pretty all right job showcasing the diffused versus not diffused stuff. All right, and then let's, there we go. Let's do a, what camera I shoot with, Bopsy asks. This is the Pixus 6K with the Viltrox 16mm f1.8 attached. So we are, we're shooting wide open at f1.8, and we are, we're just walking around doing autofocus stuff. There's a link to this lens in the description below. They're doing a sale right now, 20% off. They did send me this lens, and I was very open with them that I would not be giving anyone any nonsense or BS about it. So when it comes to caveats, I will be very open here. I'm doing a full demo on this lens, planning on doing it Friday, but I want to let you guys know now in case you're like jumping on the sale or whatever. The autofocus is a little hit or miss on the Blackmagic phase detect system, and the iris is extremely slow when you do change the iris on the lens. It takes a while for the camera to actually catch up and do that. So it does work, but they did let me know in an email when I was contacting and talking to them that, you know, because they have recently joined the L-Mount Alliance, which is cool, great news. The Viltrox is kind of working out some bugs, and there will be some firmware updates later that will increase compatibility. So if you needed a lens to be absolutely perfect right out of the box, you know, be aware of that for sure. And if you are like, oh yeah, no, I'm totally into it, let's go, then maybe you want to jump on. If anyone's interested and is making an informed purchasing decision, now's a good time to think about that because they are doing a super sweet sale. Hopefully that helps. Let's apply this grade. That's really bright. Let's apply this grade. That's also really bright. Let's see how those look without even messing with anything first. All right, let's jump back to the beginning of this clip. There we go. Okay, there you guys go. You can see above and below. We have diffusion added above. We have no diffusion added below. We are letting our highlights be nice and bright, and we're letting our shadows fall away and letting nighttime look like nighttime, which is something I believe in doing. If you really, really wanted to, you could definitely do some highlight recovery on these, and you could bring some more texture and color back into these floating balls above. But this is definitely just a good example of what it looks like to walk around doing some night shooting with available light and this sweet 16mm lens. Bopsy says, yeah, they're new to the game. I'm sure Sigma and Panasonic are solid on this already. I've heard good things about the Viltrox lenses. They are honestly really, really impressing me. I forgot to stabilize this. I'm gonna restabilize these too. Yeah, Viltrox has been impressing me a lot with their recent offerings and lens things. So yeah, I'm very hopeful for the future of what they're up to, because I'm impressed so far. We're gonna restabilize here, guys. Bossy says the sensor's doing a pretty good job here. Prefer the no diffusion look. Yeah, and I did go pretty hard on the diffusion on this for sure too. I think that in fact I'll jump this back for you as well, Bobsy, in case you didn't see the earlier shot. I want to show you the sunlit. I'm gonna stabilize this footage real quick, this second shot, and I'm gonna jump back for you. But I'll show you the shot of Brigitte with the sunlight blasting behind her. We actually filmed no diffusion directly into the setting sun here on the West Coast. You know, we went out and shot some stuff in Santa Monica. And where is it? Here we are. Bam. So here's an example of this lens without diffusion and the setting sun shooting right into the thing. So this is kind of like how the lens flares. So this is a really good lens in particular for backlight shooting without getting like impossible to manage flares that just like wash out the whole image. So I've been showing this kind of image in this clip a lot because it does a great job even with the active. You can see here it's like we have the sunlight pinging the lens here, and then we have the sunlight not directly pinging the lens here. It doesn't change the contrast that much, so it's honestly quite surprising how well that works. All right, I'm gonna watch these two again now with stabilization. We'll see how this kind of does. And no settings adjustments, just kind of, you know, in terms of the dialing in our stabilizer, we just kind of like one click whatever the presets were. And yeah, I think it's looking good. I think that the no diffusion look is really good. The diffusion on this is a little heavy. Definitely gets into the realm of like dreaminess. So I would certainly go with a lighter diffusion on this if I wanted to add a little bit of something. But it's not completely without a little bit of bloom. You know, a tiny amount of bloom on this thing. But again, we're shooting wide open, so this is where you'll get the most amount of bloom. If you want to stop this thing down to 2.8 or 4, for example, you're pretty much going to kill all of the bloom that you would get. So definitely worth noting. Bob says nice with the backlight there. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super impressed with this thing, and I do think it's really nice undiffused. Certainly not this aggressive on the diffusion. I thought I was going to need the diffusion a little more with the with these like sort of LED strips going on, but even the non-diffused one where they're a little bit out of focus, it looks really nice. Now it's possible in one of these takes I might trip over this this like electric scooter here. Maybe the bottom one I end up stumbling. Oh, well, that's the end of the clip. Okay, perfect. So, but yeah, Bopsy, in case you aren't already in, I'm gonna do the thing. I'm really enjoying this. I love seeing new names pop in. Fresh invite. If you want to, if you're on Discord, we have a little growing community. We all chat and help each other out with stuff. And you seem to actually know a lot about. You have a good sense of what makes makes a good image. I'm gonna look back on Kate's message about the settings. I want to see this real quick. Because I want to see what's your like ideal. Did you say strength 0? Oh, there it is. The 0 stable look feels a lot better in my opinion. Yeah, I like feeling the operation a little bit in a shot like that for sure. As long as the person's not like having a vibration. There we go. I'll use for the gyro 0 strength. Okay, let's put it 0 strength and try again. 0 stable. Oh, I think you may be right. Strength 0. So I had strength at 1. Foolish me. Let's watch that again. 0 strength. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't mind feeling the footsteps because it's the whole concept behind why I shot this the way I did it is like I really believe in B-roll of people feeling like a memory, and if you're gonna have your beautiful talent, spike the lens, engage with the camera, engage with the audience, break the fourth wall. We should feel like we're there walking with her, and I think feeling the footsteps of the operator is actually pretty nice. Obviously, if the person holding the camera feels like they're out of breath or having a hard time holding up the weight of the camera, that's different. But I do think that to drop down and choose gyro, see, you're helping me out on Kate. Drop down here. GPU acceleration. Where is it? Is this the drop down? Or perspective? Camera gyro. Oh, brother. Are you about to like change my whole workflow here? You're about to break my brain here. Let's do it. Go RTX 4090. Let's go. All right, let me see here. Dropping this down. Camera gyro, strength at 0. Stabilize. Let's see. Stabilize both of these with the gyro and try it again. Honestly, it's like that's a setting I knew was there. I never use it because I'm always like, oh yeah, just the. Oh, thanks for joining the Discord, Popsy. Welcome. Good to have you. Gyro's what you want. All right, let's watch it with gyro. Strength 0, gyro on, gyro mode. So that just that will limit any rolling shutter stuff. Now I really want to do some tests on that because I've seen some crazy impressive handheld walking shots with the gyro feature, and I always like think I'm gonna have to go harder, get more into the weeds and stuff, and then I hit the one click and I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. I'm like, that's fine for what I'm doing, or I'll put it down to like quarter strength or whatever, and it's plenty. But man, this is looking nice. Yeah, the handheld look with gyro at 0, job basically just corrects for rolling shutter. That's awesome. Y'all, between Bopsy and gyro with the Bopsy on Keat with the mad pro tips in here. We're just rewatching these two clips over and over because I'm dialing in. I want to know. I want to lock in and get this looking just right. See, now that we're here, I'm gonna see what it looks like with it on like. Well, I'm curious what full strength looks like. Maybe we'll just start at half strength and see, because I'm curious what that's gonna give us. Oh, an entire video on the gyro, you say? You should share that. You should share that and share and caring if you've not. Stabilize. Oh, half strength. I see it punching in. Let's see how let's see how crazy this gets. Bam. Okay. Here we're at 50. We're at 50% now on the gyro strength. Wow, that is impressive. Yeah, I've seen some people's tests where where the gyro thing just suddenly looks like a gimbal shot, which is absolutely crazy. And yeah, that definitely helps take care of all the yeah, like the weird wibbly wobbly left and rightness as well. That's great news. Y'all, this is fantastic. And yeah, that diffusion is definitely, like I said, it was intentionally heavy, but the diffusion is definitely pretty hardcore. But if someone does want that kind of vintagey look, I think this is like a super third party diffusion, and it's the quarter strength. You pretty much never want full strength unless you're quite literally working with no direct light sources in your frame at all, and you're maybe something like the actual Hollywood Blackmagic filters, which are like $400, like super expensive. So, yo, Cam Interlude, absolutely. Let's take a little Cam introduction for everybody here. This is our little gray card. Doing some scratches. Ooh, I can even switch to my other microphone so I can walk over and prove that he is real. Let's operate to you, little dude. Give everybody some focus. Cam Interlude. Hi, bud. Yeah, big yawn. How you doing? Give me some licks, thank you. Thanks, bud. If anybody would like to white balance on the room, this is now your opportunity to do so. He is just the sleepiest little dude, and in a pretty cuddly way today, which is nice. Yeah. All right, I'll leave you alone, bud. Good boy. So that's Fadark, the gray card. He's a giant ball of fur, and he's just so good. All right, go back to Big Clifton for a minute. Or ooh, actually, you know what? I'll go back to this one. Hello, everybody. In the sharing caring thread, let's go. I'm gonna give that a watch and check it out later. Oh yeah, that reminds me. While we're here, thank you for the reminder as well. I'm gonna I said I was gonna add a couple more things earlier to the Discord, and I wanted to add Hey Buns. And I'm already reading Discord comments. Hey Buns in the Clans from Hell stories like, oh Lord, time to relive PTSD. But yeah, I meant to add a place for people to submit films to have reviewed on the channel for those who actually want to get constructive criticism and feedback, and a place to submit films for when we do get around to having our watch parties. I do love that idea a lot, having some member watch parties where I'll watch a film with you guys. I just can't stream that on YouTube because YouTube will be like, shut it down. But there's nothing to stop a private community of friends from enjoying a streamed movie together and talking about the nature of it. So maybe we'll put that under. I'm like, how many is too many? Do people not like scrolling? Maybe I'll put that under. Is that a chit chat thing? Yeah. Oh, bumping Bopsy's comment. What did Bopsy say? I need to watch more of your content. I briefly met you at NAB. Oh, you met at NAB. I was nice and popped up on my feed and had to check. Yeah. Oh, hi, Bopsy. Well, that's cool. We met at NAB. That's great. I'm really glad to hear that. And also thank you for the thank you for the feedback. I try to be nice to people. That's important to me. I think that there's enough there's enough non-niceties going around, and sometimes the film community can be a little bit. The film community can be a little bit like, ugh, you didn't already know this? How dare you? So I'm big on, being kind of trying to be nice to people for sure. So yeah, thank you. That's so cool that we met at NAB. That's my favorite thing. I love meeting people. I love meeting people at events and then being like, oh, I've seen you. I know your channel. And I think this is one of the few times that people have been like, I met you in person. I think it's happened a couple other times on the channel, but sometimes I go outside not just to be on a film set, but actually go and do something like uh, an industry thing, like a show like NAB or Cinegear. Uh, and that was so NAB. That was one of the few years I'm oftentimes booked by one of the camera manufacturers or companies. I'm either working, I'm working for Condor Blue or a Blackmagic will book me on to represent at their station or whatever. So because I know I've like a relationship with a lot of these brands. So NAB was one of the few times recently I've had a chance to. Uh, you work for BMT? Are you? Is this who I think it is? Oh my gosh. Is this who I think it is? I really hope it is. Oh man. If this is who I think it is, Bobsy, I'm so excited. Uh, but yeah, but yeah, I definitely it's nice to actually walk around and just be a civilian for a day and get to meet more people. Let me see here. I guess I'll just load it for now or put it under info. I don't even know where to put this. Maybe I'll put it under sharing caring. I'll put it under sharing caring for now, I guess. We'll make a chat on sharing caring called film. I'm gonna say submissions films for review. Great channel. All right, if anyone's, I'm gonna describe it here. If you'd like your film to be constructively critiqued live on air, submitted here. Let's do that. I never assume that people like want to do that, but I'm learning a lot more of giving people an opportunity to actually giving people an outlet to do the things in case they want to do them, because I think that I can't just assume people are like afraid of having their stuff roasted when really I'm gonna give like a constructive and positive critique of the film. And then if I end up not making that, then some people are like, oh, I wish you would put this somewhere. So I'm creating avenues for people to do some things if they want to do them. No pressure to do them. I'm not here to tell anybody to live their life. I'm not trying to force anyone into doing things they don't want to do. Let's go play around in VLC some more and keep messing with some footage. Ankit also says, on an unrelated side note, I've been testing Motion Cam Pro on Android because they can spit out Cinema DNG. Ooh, I would love a functional current master list of things that will shoot Cinema DNG. I think that'd be so much fun. Absolutely nice. iPhone's ProRes RAW out of the water, I'm afraid. Yeah, I mean ProRes RAW is so it's so clunky. It's such a huge, heavy, cumbersome thing. Okay, just for fun, I'm gonna see what one strength looks like on this gyro situation. And we'll see how like I know it's punching in a lot on our 16mm lens now, but I'm curious. Wow, that's crazy. Whoa, that's insane. The gyro's so good. I knew it was good, but I have not had much chance to like really get in there. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, I'm using gyro from now on. You guys just convinced me. I'm not messing with anything else. Gyro or bust. This is the tool. What the heck, you guys? Oh, and I can still feel a little bit of the footsteps like I was hoping. Nice. All right, I'm sold. This is obviously really aggressive with the whole thing at literally one strength, but gyro for life. I'm in. I'm a convert. You guys convinced me. I'm in. All right, let's see what other pretty girl footage we have here. Love me some pretty. Oh yeah, the spinning shot. I got a little. I know it's not really a Michael Bay shot because she's we're not shooting super long lens. Did I do this with? Looks like I did this with and without diffusion. Maybe, or did I just have a here's the beginning. This looks like it has the diffusion on. I think this might both have diffusion on. Oh yeah, this shot. Okay, so let's take a peek at this. Go ahead and give us a little grade. Let's grab the grade from here, and then let's apply it to our spinning shot here minus the gyro. Wait, because we totally say gyro, but it's strength 0 and it just gets rid of any rolling shutter. That's awesome. What on earth is that emoji? What is what is that? I love that. Is that a... What is that? You've Lofty Ghost, you've very successfully distracted me with whatever that emoji is. I demand to know. Is that a salad bowl emoji? It's wild. Okay, let's see here. Do I sweep around? I sweep around here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is an example, right? So I've got her in focus in the middle of the frame here, and I have the autofocus box on her, and it does do occasionally it'll like get a little confused and do a little bit of autofocus hunting, and then when it's in focus, it's absolutely great. I'm really excited to see what they end up. Oh, it's a Euro. That's so funny, Lofty Coast. Yeah, I think this is a situation where like the focus box is in the middle of the frame, and because there's all these like super sharp things behind our subject, like these lines that autofocus loves grabbing, a lot of really high contrast areas. I definitely wanted to grab the stuff behind her. And then I did a second shot, I remember now, where I redid this with a little better operation control, keeping the box on our lovely subject the entire time. So this one is the better version. So sometimes it's just camera operation stuff. I wasn't doing object tracking. I think I was just doing center frame focus here. And it looks nice. Also, anyone who has not heard Boards of Canada, that band rules. Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. Little focus slip at the end there, but nothing crazy. Definitely something that I think Viltrox can tighten up with a little bit of firmware adjustment. But yeah, this is all looking super nice. I'm super happy with this. Popsy says, I work in the support area. It's nice to hear good things from users since I mostly deal with the issues. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. I've not yet downloaded the version 21 current most stable version. I am continually hopeful for right here at the bottom left, right next to export frame. I'm hopeful that there will at some point be a button when I'm shooting in B-raw where I can just click right here and it will create a single B-raw frame and drop it right into the photo editing tab. So I don't have to export a B-raw frame and then re-import the B-raw into the photo editing tab. Something where I can just one click, boom, jump over with this frame into photo editing. That would be phenomenal. Because as I was saying, add an AB to pretty much everyone at Blackmagic who would listen. I've been using cinema cameras for photography for like a decade now, so definitely looking forward to in the off chance that maybe that's a future button that will appear. And if it doesn't, I understand. There's a million things to do. But yeah, no. Generally speaking, I'm glad there's a Blackmagic person here, so I can say this stuff. There are 3 brands that I super openly endorse all the time. One of them is Blackmagic Design, and it's so funny. It's so funny being like, I say it's funny. I wish this was more of a flex than it is, because it's more frustrating than anything. But I'm always like ahead of the curve on adopting new tech, and I've been editing in DaVinci Resolve since version 9. So like literally since, I guess, yeah, 12 versions ago now, I've been using Resolve for all of my editing, and I've been watching all these editing tools be developed and released over the years, and I've watched it go from people being like, you edit in Resolve? That's insane. Everyone uses, whatever, Premiere. Before that was Final Cut. Before that was Avid. And like, it's crazy because I have been using this software for my entire pipeline forever. And because of the time, it was just, Cinema DNG native. in the same office as Tor. You learn a lot from Tor. Is great. Tor is very knowledgeable. He's a really good guy. Yeah, Tor is fantastic. I love working with Tor. Um, and be able to chat with him and ask him questions and communicate and stuff. I still need to work on. So I still have a little custom modification project I need to do for him. I have the parts for it. So if you run into Tor, let him know. Clifton says he has the parts for the mod that he continues to promise Tor that he'll do, and I will still do them. But yeah, like so it's funny, like now hearing everybody, like there was a window of time where people were saying, oh, Resolve is getting better, it's getting better. If you haven't learned an editing program yet, learn Resolve. And now it's like everyone who's making, internet content or whatever, everybody's like, oh, Resolve is the best. It's, it's feature packed with the free version. The paid version unlocks some other things. It comes with the cameras. Like everyone now, it's like, it's not just a statement of, oh, if you haven't learned something yet, Resolve is good to learn. People are like, no, Resolve is good. It's worth moving to Resolve, which is so cool. And same thing with Blackmagic cameras. It's like, I was all on the 2.5K because I was like, this image quality is unbeatable, and I don't care about the ergonomics of the camera. I care about the image quality at the end of the day. And I've been right there with Blackmagic since the 2.5K and all the iterations of the cameras over the years. And just like starting with the desire for a really, really stellar image and feeling the ergonomics and the features progress over the years has been such an obvious, I don't know, to me it just is like, of course I want to work with this with this camera and work with this company. So yeah, but it's funny because nowadays it's like not weird to say like, oh yeah, Blackmagic is really good, but for a while there people were like super obnoxious about it, and they'd be like, ugh, you like Blackmagic. And now there's this weird, I don't know when this started. There's like a Sony Blackmagic rivalry. As far as I know, Blackmagic as a company doesn't hate Sony, but Sony users hate Blackmagic shooters, and I don't know why. Like people pop into my comments all the time, my long form videos, and they're like, "Ugh, found the Blackmagic fanboy," and I'm like, "Are you a Sony shooter?" And they're like, "Yeah, obviously." And I'm like, "What? Why? We don't." I don't even think about you guys. So who knows? Whatever it is, what it is. But yeah, I'm definitely, I'm super jazzed on everything that this company is doing, and I know, and it makes me sound like I'm, some influencer that's just like, oh, I love this camera company because they give me affiliate stuff, but like I literally don't. I just Grant loves Sony too. See, okay, dude, even more like what is going on? Even Grant, even Grant loves Sony, and Sony shooters just hate Blackmagic shooters. Why? Our hyperdeck button designs are from older Sony Tech. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that tracks. That's so awesome. I feel like I should do a. Man, this is making me want to like host, like a live interview with someone, the Blackmagic team, and be like, hey, anybody live Q&A session. I'm gonna go full. I mean, I love me some pretty test footage on the screen constantly. Maybe it'll continue to inspire people when they come in. But I also want to be full screen because I'm just chatting with you guys for a minute here. You guys let me know if you want me to go back to pretty test footage, but for right now I'm just gonna hang out and chat with you guys. I have this great little setup behind me here. I have the Pixus 6K and I have the full frame 6K cinema camera, which is not pocket, but pocket style body. I have those two behind me on the set up with this little thing, but I don't have the video feeds connected to this here, so this is just a part of a test, and I'll be demoing that later with a couple of 16s. I have the 16mm Viltrox and the 16mm Zine, both of which cover full frame, so I can show you guys some example footage next time we're doing this, which is Friday. We're over an hour in now, so I'm for anyone and everyone new here, I am doing. I went from 5 straight weeks of literally 5 weeks, 5 days a week streaming for an hour a day, and then I streamed for like 6 hours and 7 hours straight at Cine Gear while I was hosting Condor Blues Lens Swap Challenge, and then And then basically, I was like, okay, this is getting absolutely wild, and I have to be able to. I need a few more days off, so I switched over to 2 hour streams. So now I'm doing 2 hour streams 3 times a week. So I'm technically giving more time to everybody, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And while there are some really big things going on and some changes and shifting going around here, the studio look is going to change here in the next week or two, and I'm definitely trying to get onto try not to like miss a day of streaming because I'm really enjoying this process and building this community. Oh, Vino asks a question, but just a heads up, guys. Things might look different here in the next week or so. Clifton, do you have some third-party plugins effects, DACTLS or something else in your Resolve at heavy use recommendations? You know, I believe it or not, I don't. I have played with some plugins for audio, but then Fairlight got bought and absorbed and put into Resolve, and so I don't use audio plugins anymore. I should do maybe some BSTs or whatever, if that's even the right term. I should definitely do some plugins and effects and stuff, but I feel like Resolve has so many tools, and as they say, there are 100 ways to accomplish any given task, that I don't find myself missing a lot of features in Resolve that I wish were here. But also there used to be see, this is crazy. I've played with features that have become, or plugins that have become things. So like Twixtor, right, was good for generating like false slow-mo, but now Resolve has a way of interpolating frames and creating like a seemingly slower thing. There are like upscaling tools that are now just built into Resolve, because depending on your GPU, you can get like neural, like local model neural network upscaling versus whatever. And then same thing, like noise reduction plugins and things and audio stuff, but now all that's built right in to Fairlight. So yeah, realistically, he's still around. Hi, buddy. Yeah, realistically, at this point, pretty much all the plugins that I used to use are now natively a part of Resolve. So I should do a run. I should look into some plugins and see. Popsy says, nice, looking forward to it. Well, I got to run, but nice chatting with everyone. Yeah, thanks for Friday, by the way. Friday's the next stream, 2 days from now. Bopsy, just so you know, in case you're still here and haven't jet yet. I'll be doing this again Friday morning, 10 a.m. PST is when I do this, 10 to noon. So I hope to see you there. That'll be great. I'd love to chat with you some more in the chat, and we'll do some more stuff. Also, it looks like you have once again. I love doing this. Everyone so far has been awesome. I'm gonna drop a link again. Discord invite, because I love you guys. Because you guys rule. There you go. Anyone lurking who hasn't commented, or anyone commented that hasn't joined yet, feel free to join up on our little Discord community. It is growing all the time, and so far it's been all really cool people. I think we've only had one awkward interaction with someone who had a weird beef thing, but they actually let themselves out through the back door instead of us having to kick them out. So it's been good so far. For sure. Popsy says, so cool. See if I can stop the stream. Let me know if you need anything. Yes, will do. Thank you so much. I'm like, I'm gonna text a few people and verify which of the folks this is. But yes, definitely will do. Thank you so much for stopping in. This is great. This is what I'm trying to do more of this for everybody. Building a little community. See what else there is going on. I guess we can switch back to pretty grotesque footage, because the cat cleaning himself is getting pretty PG-13 over there. Let's see here. Oh no, where's the? There it is. Fade. All right, cool. Back to the pretty girl. Let's see if I can think of anything else about this lens. I do wish I had an example that I could show you guys right now of just how slowly this aperture ring changing happens. But it is something that's definitely worth being aware of. The way that I kind of described it is as though when you go to change your focal or when you go, as though when you go to change your aperture, it's like it's as though you ask a nearby person to change your aperture for you, and then you like turn to pick up your coffee and like have a drink of it, and then put it down before you go to keep shooting. So it definitely is something that you want to do with intention. It's not an aperture change. You'll be able to like ride with the shifting light for sure. So, with the exception of the autofocus being a little bit, it's designed for photography, so they're still working on getting it like locked in tight. It doesn't work, but it could be tighter for video, and the aperture ring slowness. Other than that, optically crazy good, super sharp lens. The backlight flaring is so reasonable, and it takes to diffusion really well. So this is actually a lens I recommend. I do think it's a good lens, and I think that the caveats that do exist for it can be worked around with relative ease. So this is definitely something that I'm not sitting on being like, you know what, not for me, I'm sending it back. And there have been, by the way, there have been products in the past that a company has sent me to do testing with or to do a demo on, and then after I do my behind the scenes personal testing, I've just been like, you know what, there's something really wrong about this, and I don't think that I can recommend this, and I'll just kind of send it back to them. So, but this is one that I actually will for sure be using, and I cannot wait for them to update the firmware on it so that I can with a little faster autofocus use it for maybe gimbal work and stuff, which would be really nice. I also want to grab the LUT that I put on this. I think the treatment I did in this thing is really nice, and I'm going to apply it to this lovely shot that everyone may remember from yesterday. Look at that. I think that there's a natural at 1.8. There's a natural, really light vignetting as well on this lens that I think is really pleasing. And then I'm actually going to do this again too, because I love showing this off. I'm going to put this back into 8K for the sake of having a lot of room. And then let's check out just how sharp this thing can be. And this is again straight out of camera, so even before I add a little bit, let's go in here and just do the thing you do, where we add a single but one tick of sharpness. And then now we can see, oh yeah, I need to cool that off a little bit. One tick of sharpness is going to be a little harsh. Maybe I cut that in half. Let's key that down. Where is it? Here we go. Let's make this. So if I do 0 and I do 1, oh no, it'll be here. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's do half strength. Half strength, single tick of sharpness. That's nice. Oh yeah, let's do 100%. There's no point in showing more than 100%. So yeah, there's our 100% view with the 6K scaled up. Also, I don't know if you guys know this. So when it comes to chroma subsampling and bit depth and resolution and stuff, so the way that the whole, like, we all know, I assume we know. I'm just gonna give you guys a top down real quick here. 8-bit isn't really 8, it's 2 to the power of 8, right? Which is 256 colors per channel, and then 3 channels RGB is 256 cubed, which is how you get 16.7 million colors out of 8-bit. And then 10-bit is 2 to the power of 10, which is 1,024 colors per channel. So that cubed is like a billion colors, right? So 12-bit color is a lot of color. But chroma subsampling, which is the other side, when you see like 8-bit 420, 10-bit 422, 12-bit 444. So the chroma subsampling is, like, for all intents and purposes, it is a color layer of footage underneath a black and white layer. And so when the color layer is a lower resolution than the black and white layer, you still get this great perceived sharpness. But so like 8-bit 420 is basically saying this is a quarter resolution color image or video underneath a full resolution black and white. And 8-bit 422 is half resolution, and then whatever 444 is full resolution color and full resolution black and white layer. Again, for all intents and purposes, that's basically how it works. So because a 4K 420 file is basically like a 4K black and white over top of a 1080p color image. So when you're shooting 12-bit raw, which is shooting automatic quad 4, right? You have or whatever 444, you have your 12-bit color depth, which is crazy amounts of color information. then you have your full resolution color layer. You could have that as 420 at 4 times the resolution. So in strict theory, a 4K 444 file can be scaled to a 16K. I guess it'd be 8K. Can be scaled to an 8K 420 file. However, you'll still have a black and white layer that's the same resolution, so you'll notice that difference. But you can jump from 6K raw to 8K and still have a nice, sharp, crisp image. You can jump from 2.7K or 2.6K, even 3K even, right, up to 4K. As long as you're shooting raw, you have the room to scale that and not have it look weird. So the 4.6K sensor back in the day could scale very cleanly to a 6K timeline, as long as you're not also cropping on the image. In this instance, our 6K full frame cinema camera will scale very neatly into an 8K timeline. So here is 6K footage, pixel to pixel, and if you guys are watching on a monitor, you can put it in 4K mode. You can actually see it pixel to pixel on your screen, whether you're on a tablet or a computer or whatever. But you can see how sharp this is, even in 8K mode from a 6K capture. And I do have, so like I'm really big on understanding like the dialing in the math and the scaling on these things, so that we're not just being like, oh, it has to be X, Y, and Z. Like a 6K raw video file will look better scaled up to 8K than an 8K MP4 shot in camera. So like when you have those cameras that are like, oh, it does 8K, but it's like 10-bit 420, that will look softer and look less like a high quality image than 6K raw scaled up to 8K. So there's a lot of misunderstandings about like the resolution and bit depth. I think people are understanding more and more, but Chroma subsampling is one that I think a lot of people also could use demystified on. So another reason why I like the 12K is crazy, because that any 12K camera, whether it's the original Ursa Mini or the Ursa Cine / Pixus 12K that are the full frame sensor, as long as you're not cropping in your image, you can scale that to a 16K export, which would be like you could do super high resolution projecting onto a building or something, and people would be like, "Whoa, the detail's crazy." So, yeah, in 2029 said I should have had a snack before I started this madness today. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna start grabbing some more frames too. Oh yeah, and Keith says super scale on Resolve is underrated. Yeah, that's not even including super scale. If you super scale, it's like forget it, man. You can get crazy stuff out of some limited resolution images. I would be really curious to see, because the 12K full frame is effectively a 100 megapixel sensor. So you're taking 100 megapixel raw photographs 24 times a second, right? So I wonder if you were to use the 12K at lowest compression, shoot it with sharp frames, so you have nice crisp detail. I mean, this is shot at 180-degree shutter angle, so definitely have some motion blur here and stuff. But you shot it like with nice sharp frames at 12K lowest compression, then used super scale. Like, how large could you print a single frame from the Blackmagic 12K full frame? That is a project I would love to do, and I need to ask my guys at Blackmagic about getting another getting a loaner 12K full frame sensor, because I've had that camera a few times. I've had my hands on the Ursa Cine 12K. I've had my hands on the Pixus 12K a few times. I don't have one in my inventory, and the gray card's heading out. Hey, bud. He's done. But yeah, I'm like, I definitely want to do. I'm gonna fade to me. I'm gonna turn off the cat cam now, because he's gone. He's gone elsewhere. Oh, he's coming over here. Okay. Hi. Oh, here. Oh, my little one. Say hi to everybody. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to do a whole video on. Oh, he's just going limp. A whole video on the using cinema cameras for photography, and specifically talking about the 12K sensors, because I think that the Ursa Mini was so slept on for the duration of time that it had. I'm gonna go back to pretty girl footage because you can't even see the cat. Can you guys hear him? He's like purring. He's purring his little face off down here. Hi. Yes. I feel like I should give him his own live stream. Just let him be seen. Hi. I also need an overhead cam right here. He's cuddly. Look at that. Little dude. Hi. Anyway, cat break here for everybody. Enjoy. Just hearing him, he's right below the frame. Hi, yes. Wow, that is some Myron eye contact. ASI says, "Hi bro, I'm from India." Hello. Welcome in from India. Great to see you. How's your evening going? I believe it's evening over there. Oh yeah. Thank you, Anki. Yeah. He looks at you with so much love and trust. I know I can trust cat parents when I see this. Yeah. Yeah, this cat is not known not known pain and strife. Don't bite my headphones, bro. We're not doing that. I will pet you. You don't have to bite the headphones to get more touches. So Asifroy? How is that? How do I say that? Can I get a phonetic spelling in Le Chat so I can make sure I don't mess that up. But are you fellow film guy? You doing video stuff? How's your work treating you these days? Not to like harass the chat. Someone pops in and me like, "Hello, introduce yourself. How are you?" Oh right, I forgot to wait. I gotta wait. I'm gonna wave at Bobsy. Which one do I get? Dongo Bird. I'm Dongo Bird today. Dude, my goodness. I really need an overhead cam for my desk. Oh man. I hate to do any ending of the stream early, but this cat may need like a full on hangout cuddle sesh. I'll go back to pretty girl test footage for everybody because you can't even see this animal that I'm interacting with. So, but you believe he's there. You know, many people were there already at the beginning of this whole thing. Get out of here. Yeah. So, what else have we got going on? I feel like I should just share news. I feel like I did a lot of. Oh my gosh, he's putting his paw on me. I feel like I did a lot of the. I feel like I talked about this lens a bunch. You guys can, there will be chapters later. You can scroll around. I hope that if anyone is in the market that they make a sound decision based on the investments they want to make and whatever gear they like. I've seen it working really well with much better control over the autofocus on Panasonic cameras for sure. We have to borrow an S5 too. Okay. All right. Okay. It's murder time. Oh god. Trust and love, but also murder. You may get jettisoned here. Why are you committing crimes, man? Ow! Okay, all right. Okay, baby. Go somewhere else. Oh, go somewhere else, buddy. Okay. Keith says, my best friend who's from Boston lives in Dubai and has a fur ball, and he's so amazing with his cat. Also the most empathetic man I have had the honor of knowing. That's so awesome. Yeah, people, you can tell so much about someone for sure by the way that they treat animals, especially small ones, and the way they treat like restaurant servers. basically, I think the general concept is you can tell a lot about a person based on how they treat the people they don't have to be nice to. And yeah, watching people mistreating animals, there's like a special place in the dark place for the people anyone who mistreats animals. Yeah, but also like, yeah, if we're ever out getting a sandwich and you are rude to the staff, I'm like, SC4 says, do I play any games? Yeah, I do. I assume that was for me, not on Keep, but also on Keep plays too. I don't play any games on this stream. I did start and learn how to stream with sort of a sandbox account over on Twitch that I played around with, and got my stream settings dialed in over there, so I didn't have to like watch me struggle with making this look sharp. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Souls games, and huge fan of. I'm still playing. Still occasionally play EverQuest from 1999. This is 30 years later. Vino asks, Clifton and others, do you think Blackmagic is going to focus more on photography in the future with their cameras, more photo options and settings than the current cameras maybe? I do think that again, this is not any official news. I'm not sharing anything that I know internally. As I've said on previous streams and previous videos, you know I don't know anything because I'm telling you I don't know anything versus me saying I can't talk about it. So I'm saying I don't know this for sure. I don't really know, but I do think that Blackmagic. I think that the photo tab is an indicator that something may be brewing, and I think that the fact that there's so much frustration with Adobe specifically, and the fact that Photoshop is kind of like Photoshop / Lightroom are kind of the only things that I know of that people are like, oh, I don't have a good alternative to consistently use to those softwares. So I know that the market of filmmakers, industry people, designers, digital painters, etc., like everyone's actively hungry for any way to get away from Photoshop specifically, which is kind of like the last thing people are hanging on to from the Adobe suite. So yeah, I think that the market is ripe and excited for literally anything that will let them edit photos. And I think that Blackmagic or anyone else would be they'll be missing a huge opportunity to not do more in this vein. And historically, Blackmagic doesn't really like drop a random feature that they don't later update or add extra parts to. So I think that the fact that there's now a dedicated photo tab with like first wave adjustments and tools in there, I think that it's only going to get better. I'm really, really excited to see how that works, especially because like everything about the Resolve pipeline is so streamlined. It's not just kind of like all just in one window. It's like designed to be like things you move through, right? So you have your media tab, you have your editing tab, you have your then after you edit, you then move to color. Then after color, you move to audio, right? So, and then delivery is like a final thing at the very end. It's not like a little pop-up you have to deal with in terms of like digging through settings. So I think that, and actually at the delivery tab, you can also like here you can set in and out points instead of having to do it in the edit tab, then set in and out points. So yeah, I think that I do think that oops, I lost my shot. There it is. Personally, I do think that Blackmagic's probably going to do more in the photo space. If they end up ever telling me for sure some future development stuff, I will switch to telling you that I can't say anything that I know because I respect the NDAs. But until someone gives me inside information, I'm free to speculate. So speculation is yeah, I think that they will for sure. And yeah, one sec. I'm gonna put I guess I'm already full screen pretty girl photos. Let me make myself invisible for 2 seconds. I'm gonna take care of this. You know, I won't make myself invisible. I'm gonna switch my lab for 2 seconds so I can let this kitten out. Come here, buddy. You trying to go somewhere? Let me help you out. Let me help you go explore a little bit. Go forth. Go forth, Mr. Grey Card. Enjoy your day. And I am back. Alexander Kwan says, so glad they introduced the Lumix RW2 raw photo support in the photo tab. Oh yeah, heck yeah. I'm super glad to hear that. Oh, that. Whoa. Okay, I'm going full screen conclusion for this. This just something just dawned on me. Thank you for that comment, Alexander Kwan. Dude, whoa. So, uh, I I still have CS6 because it's the last. I refused to move to a monthly subscription fee. So CS6 was the last of the Adobe suites that let you just buy it and own the whole thing outright. So I have not updated any of my Adobe suites since CS6. The only reason that I have ever used Creative Cloud is because a client has paid for the license for me to use for any given project. So like I'm aware of Creative Cloud, I've used Creative Cloud. I do not pay for Creative Cloud and I don't ever intend to. And so like all of my workflow, like that's the reason that that's the reason I haven't upgraded my DSLR from the 5D Mark III is it was the 5D Mark III, and I know the 7D Mark I, maybe the 7D Mark II as well. That is 7D, not 70. Those were the last cameras from the Canon line that were supported by Adobe Camera Raw as late as you can get on CS6. So I I don't intend to go to Creative Cloud, and I didn't even think about the fact that Blackmagic's photo tab might natively support raw photos from new cameras. Holy cow, that's so exciting. That's been one of the main frustrations for me is like when I do photo work, I just convert to DNG and then work with it from there, or I use cinema cameras, which I think are absolutely great tools for photos these days, and I work that way. But like, wow, the thought of being able to do modern raw photos from new cameras straight into the photo tab, that's super exciting, man. Adobe's be given a run for their money on Blackmagic, coming in strong with like tools and features that everybody gets to use. That's super cool. Thanks for the update, and Alexander Kwan. I didn't know that. And also, if you didn't know, because that's another reminder to me. Bam. In case you're not a member of the thing, that kind of stuff. A really good comment always inspires us. Uh, we have a growing little community that's quite active. If you want to be a part of a little Discord group of filmmakers and creative professionals who hang out, chat, share stories. There's a whole section in there as well where you can like unabashedly share your projects and things under the sharing, caring section. So if you want to self promote, feel free to hop in there and do that. Let's see here. Vino says, I guess we might see something like that in the future, at least cameras with more dedicated settings to shoot photos. Yeah. Yeah, I think that Blackmagic has a long-standing history of doing some really cool. Actually, I'm gonna put Pretty Girl test footage back on the screen here just because she's nicer to look at than I am. So I think that the Blackmagic has a long-standing history of like just really shaking things up, and I think that the hybrid photo video world just hasn't really locked it in yet. I think the closest thing I've seen to a real proper hybrid photo video camera, maybe is the Nikon ZR. And I think that Nikon really, really biffed it, with marketing that as a cinema camera. Calling that Z Cinema, I think, was a mistake because it is wildly lacking features that it needs to have to be a cinema camera used on film sets and on like professional environments, which of course a lot of YouTubers and whatever filmmakers have reviewed and talked about ad nauseum. But I think that uh, if the Nikon ZR had been marketed as like it is a photo camera with the most impressive video features to date on a photo camera, that would have been, I think, a absolutely killer way to market that product. Like, it's a Nikon, but it shoots red raw. It's a Nikon, but it has in raw and ProRes raw as well. Like, this is a Nikon photo camera with 3 different 12-bit raw codecs. That would have been like, what? That's crazy. 6K full frame sensor. That's nuts. But I think they just totally missed the mark in terms of how they actually marketed that camera. And because they called it cinema camera first and foremost, it was tested as that, it was reviewed as that, it was found lacking and wanting. So I do think that there's still room for a true proper hybrid cinema and video like video and photo camera that does cinema quality work and like true professional photography quality still frames. That I think the Blackmagic is honestly positioned very well for that because, as I mentioned earlier, the 12K full frame sensor is a 100 megapixel sensor. Full stop. Like that's I'll do the math while we're sitting here, literally just to verify. Because I remember doing the math in the 12K Super 35 and being like, oh, that's like almost 100 megapixels. But I think that the maybe it's like 99. But let me see here. 12K full frame sensor resolution. Let's go. Yeah, 12. Oh no, that's the Ursa Mini. I want the 12K full frame. There it is. I'm gonna do some math. Behold, my calculator on the screen. We're quite literally talking about 12288 times 8040. There it is, 98.79. We'll call it 98.8. 98.8 megapixels. Can you imagine like what a 100, I mean the 100 megapixel still photo cameras cost way more than $5,000. Like the fact that you've got, I'm pretty sure that's what the current situation is. Like there aren't that many photo cameras that have that kind of resolution even now. And the thought of being able to buy a 100 megapixel photo frame camera that can also shoot video in 100 megapixel video frames that are 12-bit raw, it's insane. Like there are so many technicalities on these cameras that people don't, I think, think about, and that Blackmagic doesn't market it as much, and they totally could. And I think that if they, I mean, realistically, already with that sensor, the 12K sensor alone is enough to, that Blackmagic could release a hybrid body with true hybrid controls. Vino asks, oh, here we go. Vino asks, Clifton, did you mention earlier that you have shot stills with your Blackmagic cameras? I remember in the past I worked for an ACN music video, the DP shot still photos. So there's red. Yeah, yes. I shoot stills with my Blackmagic cameras all the time. I actually, since I started working with Brigitte to do the illustration work we've done for Magic the Gathering, as well as for our own world building and our own projects, basically anytime that we do original paintings, instead of using a scanner, which like really creates this really flattened image because it's like it's this front lit bar that, you know, lights across your image that fills in all the good like texture and detail on the paint and stuff. I'll actually set up the 12K cinema camera and light it in a way that the direction of the light gives a little bit of that texture where I want it for the paper or for the paint, so that you can actually see and feel that handheld paint look. And then I have some macro lenses, so if I'm doing like a little tiny thing that I want to do a blow up print of a physical small painting, I can basically scan that at 100 megapixels, even though it's tiny. And then same thing, if there's a painting too big to fit on a scanner, that's a perfect situation as well. So anything that's bigger than a scanner or smaller than a scanner, still being able to get 100 megapixel clean capture, I 100% am like that's the way to image anything that's going to be for reproductions. So like we'll do like high-end fine art reproductions using the 12K cinema camera to actually capture all that stuff. So yes, big yes. And sorry, so follow-up message here. Vina says 12 frames per second setting in the camera and fast shutter. It was a clever idea. Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I first got to LA, I actually had a client that I'd done some video commercial work for, and he's like launching a clothing brand thing, and he was like, hey man, I really love the look of, at the time it was a 4.6K Ursa Mini, which still agreed, love the look. He was like, I really love the look of your cinema camera, can you use that for stills? And I said, yeah, of course. And he was like, great, can we do a photo shoot with some models, and I'm doing this clothing launch, we're only going to use the video footage to pull stills from. And that was that was my first paid project where someone was like, yeah, use your video camera. So of course, him video camera. It was shooting. I think at the time it even still shot Cinema D and G still, so it was extremely easy to just like, yeah, shoot it at slower shutter or slower frame rate with really sharp frames, and then he just extracted pictures that he wanted from it later. It also makes it kind of funny to me now that there are, the thought of these like, still photo professional still photo cameras that are like burst mode, 30 frames a second up to whatever 6 seconds of shooting, and I'm just like, isn't 30 FPS a video standard? Can't you just burst mode record for 10 minutes straight if you wanted to? Like, why can't you do that? we have we have we have a $5,000 100 megapixel full frame camera that shoots 12-bit raw photographs 40 times a second for infinity until the card is full. So I just, yeah, I'm always like, shouldn't photo cameras be able to do way more now, especially in the $5,000+ range? Shouldn't they all be like 200, 400 megapixels? Like, shouldn't the photo cameras be doing something that we just cannot do with our video cameras these days? I hate to say video cameras, cinema, absolute cinema. Here you go, be like. So yeah, I definitely huge fan of that. We also use all of our behind the scenes is shot on pretty much exclusively across the board. We've been using the Pocket 6K Pro for all of our behind the scenes stuff that we shoot. It's also our go-to camera for all documentary work. Though I will say, with the new autofocus firmware for the Pixus and the cinema camera 6K full frame, I think that autofocus is actually making me pretty tempted to use the 6K full frame for behind the scenes more and more, especially when handing it off to someone who's maybe not as experienced pulling focus in real time, for sure. Let's see here. Waving to Bunk. Bunked. It's a great username. All right, let's see here. How else are we doing? Man, I'm so pumped. I got a lot to do today. Continuing to give you all my time, and we're gonna actually, today. So I've been doing these members after hangs each day. I think that today I'm actually gonna call it the 2-hour mark and just go do some productive stuff. I think I'll do a members after hang maybe on Friday after the lens demo video. I think that'll be a good opportunity to do that. But today I'm just gonna like, I got a ton going on. I got meetings galore, and yeah, the dust is getting kicked up even more and more as we go. SF4 says, name one of the best photo editing apps that celebrities use. Like, when you say apps, do you mean computer, like desktop computer apps, or do you mean like any program, or do you specifically mean like phone apps? Because I think that across the board, the standard is still Photoshop, which is, like I said, what everyone's trying to get away from. I feel like, again, all the professional work that I see, it's either Lightroom or Photoshop, and everyone's using Lightroom or Photoshop, and they're all tired of it. They would all like to get away. I feel like people don't hate those programs that much. People don't actually dislike Lightroom and Photoshop, but I think people dislike Adobe. That is the general consensus that I've been increasingly picking up for the last decade. Is just like, increasingly people are just like, I am sick of this company. It doesn't help that they do the same kind of thing that, like, like Spectrum Internet does this, where they'll be like, oh yes, come on in, you get a huge discount for joining up and being a part of the thing, and then like once you're in the system, they're like, no more discounts, sorry, you're on your own. And then it's like, oh, but a new member gets like a whole year at 60% less than I'm paying, and I've been paying you for 10 years to do this. Like, why do current members of your software or your program or your like feature, your service, we get treated worse than new members? There's no like loyalty benefits. And then weirdly, everybody discovered, like, oh, if you tell Adobe I'm leaving, then they're like, wait, now you can have a discount because you're leaving. If you're leaving, we'll give you a discount to stay. That is so aggravating that there's no There's absolutely no long-term loyal customer, uh, you know, tools or features or benefits. They don't help you out with that. You have to be like, I'm leaving, and they're like, okay, well now we're going to treat you better because you're mad at us. So frustrating. So throwing that out there. I'm so I'm just I'm always very clear on all these things because I've received letters from lawyers in the past for stupider things. Nothing that I am sharing here is in any way, shape, or form me saying that anyone has ill intentions or that they're bad people. Nor am I saying that anything is a scam. Nor am I saying that I'm not making any claims as to the quality of anyone's products. I am simply sharing things that I have heard and seen and experiences that I have had. So there's nothing defamatory going on when I'm sharing documented information that you can look up yourself. So if anyone's lawyers are watching, do not send me a cease and desist letter. You will get a letter back from my lawyer. You don't send me erroneous nonsense things that have no grounded legal, like, yeah, no legal precedent. Don't do it. So just want to put that out there for everybody who may be watching from the other side of the you know the battlefront, the other side of the trenches. It's crazy. Can I just mute for 2 seconds, everybody? It is crazy to me that, like, we've done this weird full circle thing where it was like, oh, the customer is always right. Customer service, the customer is always right. Another one, by the way, I mentioned this earlier about the whole, like, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Always like two-part things. The customer is always right is actually the first half. It's supposed to be the customer is always right in matters of taste. That is the full phrase as I understand it. So when someone says the customer is always right, it's supposed to be like the customer is always right in matters of taste. So if someone's like, I love this couch, you shouldn't be like, that couch is ugly. You don't want that couch. You want this couch instead. That's the wrong approach. That's the whole point behind the statement. The customer is always right in matters of taste. So the customer's like, I love this couch, and it is like the most ugly couch you've ever seen. You sell them the couch that they want because they're the ones that are correct about the design, the taste of whatever it is that they're into. But it evolved into this thing of like the customer can do no wrong, and that we must give them everything and bend over backwards at all times. And so, like, this weird thing happens where customers just start abusing companies, and now uh, it's like the companies seem to be pushing back now against this, and oftentimes being less helpful to customers and treating them worse, especially if they're like existing customers. And and on top of that, it's like customers are having a hard time trusting things on the internet as well, because they're like, oh, so much stuff on the internet is just like, the influencer marketing game has changed the whole face of like reviews by fellow customers. So you end up in this situation where people are like, "Oh, I don't trust someone on the internet telling me something is good," and so like, yeah, like influencer trust is like down massively. Um, so yeah, I think it's weird that there's this like customers versus businesses thing right now, and it's not just like, oh, we just want to provide value and make people's lives easier. So I'll get off my soapbox. I'll stop ranting about this. Uh, Customers always right thing is exhausting, and the other side of it too, of like companies just like not caring about taking care of the customers they have is also just worn me out. So again, rant over. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, everybody. I appreciate you being here. We got 6 minutes left, and then I am ending this stream on time, everybody, so I can go do the rest of my stuff I got going on. If you guys have any questions, it's a good time to bring it up. I'll keep scrubbing through some pretty girl test footage. Final reminders that, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not. Oh, which movies have I shot for? Nothing you've heard of. I love answering that. Nothing you've heard of. I have filmed tons and tons and tons of stuff with. If you want to hear it, that I've shot A-list celebrities and stuff. I've done that. I've literally filmed Brad Pitt. I filmed what's her name? The blonde music artist. Everyone's like super like, biggest. She's like the biggest artist in the world right now. Sabrina Carpenter. I filmed her a couple times. For what's it called? For Variety. So I've done a lot of work for Variety. I've worked and talked to a lot of A-list people. I filmed an interview with between Ari Aster and Yorgos Lanthimos. I DP'd the interview between the two dungeon masters on Critical Role. So yeah, if I think that question is always a fun question. People are just like, oh, what movies have you shot for? I'm like, movies is nothing you've ever heard of. If it's a question of like, have I worked with like big talent? Like, yes, I've worked with big talent a lot. I've shot documentaries. I've shot a lot of short films, a lot of music videos. There's a couple, two or three feature length docs that are on Amazon. One of them is about Bigfoot, which is very cool and fun. But yeah, movies I dream shooting for. Basically, my absolute favorite things to shoot are horror and sci-fi, and I would absolutely love to shoot something like something like the Backrooms that's all practical sets. Love to shoot. I'm really inspired by the movie Moon, by the original Alien. Backrooms is mind-blowingly good. I love that this indie filmmaking thing is blowing up right now. I really, really like the idea of doing a lot of projects in the I would have historically said 2 to 5 million range, but I think at this point the $2 to $10 million budget range would be kind of the sweet spot where the budget isn't so huge that basically the producers and the people, the executives of the money are like, oh, since we're spending more money, we don't have to make any decisions until post because we can just shoot everything on a green screen and an LED volume and then just change things later. I want to be working on projects that are budgeted where we have to make sound creative decisions and embrace the intention of what we're doing and building and then have all physical practical sets. So yeah, I mean, I had a lovely conversation with Ari Aster after his conversation with Yorgos Lanthimos. I think that I would love to DP a film for Ari Aster. I would love to, or even gaff if I was a gaffer on one of his projects. That'd be amazing. Gareth Edwards is a great example of a director that really, really seamlessly blends the digital post production process and filming with the intention of having shots, very specific shots, turn into whatever CGI effects and things. I also had a chance to hang out with Gareth Edwards here at the house when I installed a camera modification on his Pocket 6K as well. Um, Thinking what else? Who else would I love to work with? I feel like one of the things it's like there are directors I'd love to work with because you know the movies are uh, there's a style arc for movies, and yeah, I think that if Shane Carruth ever makes another movie, I would love to shoot it. I'd love to shoot his next movie. My goodness, if Shane Carruth, if you're watching, uh, or someone knows Shane, send Shane Carruth this 2 hour long video at the end of which I tell him that his work is great and it has inspired me, and I would love to shoot his next movie. And I don't care if someone is like, but don't you know? I'll be like, I know. I still want to work with them. So, because separate the art from the artist, as they say. But yes, I would love to shoot. I'd love to shoot for Shane Carruth if he makes another movie. And what else? I don't know. Maybe buy a time machine and go work with Tarkovsky. Would be really cool. Uh, Yeah, there's a bunch, man. Ooh, Quentin Dupieux. Oh man, Quentin Dupieux is another one. He's the dude who directed Rubber and the movie Wrong. His work is very surreal, very almost like abstract and absurdist humor and very like dry delivery of that stuff. And I really, really, really like Quentin Dupieux's style. I would work with him in a heartbeat for sure, as well. Uh, so yeah, definitely great question, Asafroy. That is that is absolutely something. Um, yeah, I love talking about the movies and things the people I'd love to work with, the project I love to work on. I guess the obvious answer I should say when someone's like, what's the best thing you've ever shot? I'm like, the next one. It's the best one I've ever shot. It will be the next film is the next one I've ever shot. Hey Arnold, you made it. Yes, the 2 hour streams are working. Also, Arnold, I just you rolled in right as I'm shutting this down for the day because I've been on for 2 hours. I need to get some other stuff going on. Ankit is for sure throwing in some great questions. Okay, but do you maybe also throw some books on his face after you're done getting your bag? Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely this will be my final musing before I'm out for the day, because I do think that this is a valuable stance to say. There are people who are very much questionable, or just like have historically been just not good in terms of the controversial issues and things that they've done. Um, I have a personal belief in general that people can get um people can have a redemption arc. I do think that the like in like with a few exceptions, obviously there are some things that are so horrific that that it's just not worth risking that person continuing to be like a member of society. Um, but like, yeah, unless we're talking about like, super crazy killer cannibal type people, who have done things that have ruined many people's lives and things, and there's no ever coming back from it. Like, I think that people could earn a redemption, but that doesn't mean that I need to give them that chance or prioritize them having that chance. So that being said, I also generally am able to separate the art from the artist, and there are some incredible artists that have very unfortunate and very sketchy personal life behaviors that I wildly don't condone and actively condemn. So there are definitely people that I would be like, yeah, it'd be cool to work with you as an artist, but like there's a 0% chance we are ever hanging out. And there are some artists I'm just like, look, man, if you're literally Voldemort Hitler, I'm sorry, I can't work with you. Because I would hate to contribute to, a more comfortable life where that person might continue to do shady stuff. But if someone's just like in a general controversy and it's not, some life ending stuff, I feel like I definitely want to. Yeah, cute. Um, yeah, there are artists that I would work with that I would just absolutely not hang out with, and there are artists that I would work with that I would just be like, uh, you know, like, and also there's one more too. There are definitely artists who, if they were to reach out to me, I would be like, you and I need to sit down and have a big talk, and if you are willing to hear me out and hear everything that I have to say about this stuff, and you are willing to like openly talk to me about where you are with these things, and I feel good about the way you view the world now, then we can work together. And in those instances, then like I would let them get a shot at not being a bad person around me, or during our project. But yeah, there are definitely people that like going in massively on thin ice and would need to basically like convince and prove to me that they're not uh, just an absolute monster. So, um, but it is tough because the court of public opinion is very infinitely unforgiving, and I think that it's nice the way the court of public opinion, because we have a very flawed legal system, and I think that it is also sometimes uh on the flip side, I think the court of public opinion sometimes it can get out of hand, and there have been people who have been um have been dragged through hot coals, and then later on, when it was found that they actually weren't a bad person, then everyone's like, oh, and they just kind of quietly, like, it's not nearly as viral to be like we were wrong as it is to be like that dude's a bastard. So yeah, all that being said, yeah, thanks for asking that. That was much more much more serious, toned in this on. But yeah, good night, Asafroy. Thanks for popping in. I'm also gonna end the stream here. That's a pretty major note to end on, I think. Hopefully nothing I said there turns into some giant, insane, out of context junk that gets clipped and then I get, uh, you know, whatever. It's 8 billion people on the internet pissed at me for trying to be an artist and navigating my thoughts on this stuff. So anyway, that's where I stand. Um, in general, case by case basis. And on that note, I'm gonna get off of here. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and thanks for talking about this sweet lens with me. Like I said, I have a full demo on Friday. I don't know if the sale is still gonna be going on Friday. The sale is coinciding with the Prime Day stuff. There's a link below if you guys want to, if you guys like the look of this lens and are considering investing in a cool looking thing for your autofocus L mount cameras. Hopefully, there's been plenty of pretty girl test footage here to make a sound decision whether you do or don't want to acquire a lens like this. And yeah, there will be some edited content coming out soon about it. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll pick up on the post chat hangs Friday after that stream. I'm gonna go do some work though.